Hey, good afternoon. This is Buster with Nightwave Radio, and we got Jennifer here. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I was looking. Also, you ain't too far from me.
Where are you?
I'm in Lawton, Oklahoma.
Oh, that's very far away.
I ain't about 3 hours. You in Terrell, Texas. But the only reason I know that is because the company I used to work for had a store down there. Still
What
does.
what store?
Lock Supply.
Light Supply?
Lock.
Oh,
LOCKE.
look. Yes, that's just down the street from me.
Yeah, I used to work for them.
Oh, okay.
So
They sell what is it? They sell electrical supplies?
they sell plumbing, electrical, and heating and air.
Yeah, my dad's an electrician. I think he spends a lot of time in there.
So I was looking, trying to find some things about you and stuff.
Oh goodness. Don't
Hey.
Google.
So,
Let's not.
and I said, "Dang, she's down there where we used to. The company I used to work for had a store there." So, but what got you started in the music?
Well, so I started singing just for fun when I was young, and um, I always wanted to sing and act, and I would make my parents buy tickets to watch me perform on the fireplace,
Okay.
and realize that it was a big money making thing, when you sell tickets to your family. So I thought I would try to do that for other people. And it's not as lucrative as my parents led me to believe it was at 5. So here we are. But I've done singing and acting. I used to do musicals, and I didn't like not being the star. It wasn't a good time for me.
Right.
So I thought I would just do my own thing and always be the center of attention, which here we are now.
Well, yeah. I used to, in my younger days, I started DJing, and then I got into heating and air and electrical and plumbing, and then I moved out west, and from North Carolina out here, and got into a store, like I was telling you, Lock Supply, and then I found a buddy of mine's had the software, or he told me where you get it to start a radio station. So I got back into DJing on the radio station that I own, Nightwave Radio.
That's a good time.
Yeah.
I went to Lawton, Oklahoma one day, and they have, isn't it a national park or something called Buffalo something?
You probably talking about the, I know they got one here. I can't think of the name, but also if you went on the other side, they got Mount Scott and the refuge with all the buffaloes on it and stuff.
All I know is that there are buffalo there.
That was, if you went there, that was the refuge.
Well, here's what happened. I went out to try to catch a prairie dog because there were prairie dogs, and I thought one would look really cute in my purse and bring it home. So I thought I would go catch a prairie dog. They're evasive little creatures, but in the process of trying to catch one and pat one, I ended up coming upon a buffalo who are not as cute and cuddly and polite as the prairie dogs who just run from you. They more run toward you. So Oklahoma's not my place.
Well, see, last year, my father was a bricklayer, and they have some memory bricks out there that people put their moral, their parent or fallen soldier or memory on the brick. And so the bricklayer they had couldn't lay them. So he wasn't around no more. So eventually I got to go out there because my wife had one done of her mother. And that passed away. And so it hadn't been laid, and we was out there and she volunteered me to lay them out there. So I was out there laying them last year, and I went to go ask the lady where they got their sand out so I could mix the mortar mix up. She said, "Oh, over there." And I walked around the corner, and there was a buffalo laying in the sand.
Of course there was.
And so I forgot his name now. It wasn't Bob. It was something. My daughter was in here.
The buffalo's name?
Yeah, they had everybody named it. It had a name. Well, what I'm getting at, the following week, since you brought up buffalo, the following week I'd left, and this lady had been out there, and she's wanting to get up beside of and take a picture of it, hold her hand over the buffalo and get a picture, and she went and grabbed the beard, and he hit her right in the leg and put a hole in her leg. And the game warden gave her a $500 ticket out there because it's signs all over that area says, "Don't play with the buffalo."
I didn't know that one would need a sign.
Well, she does because she didn't see it. I mean, it says, "Do not mess with the buffaloes because they can hurt you." But people don't pay that no attention out there. They go up and try to pet them and stand beside of them. And
no, I hid behind a rock. That is what you do.
Well, when Bo is his name. I know it started with a B. Bo. When Bo jumped, when I was getting the sand, he decided he wanted to jump up, and there was a tree right there. So I hit behind the tree, and I told him, I said, "Look, Bo, I don't want to mess with you." I said, "I don't want to make you mad, but I need some sand so I can get these things." He finally just stood there and let me get the sand, and didn't bother me. And ever since then, me and him become friends because I could go up there and get sand, and he wouldn't do nothing to me.
It's funny and interesting and odd.
Right.
There's so many emotions that go with that story.
Well, I could tell you another story about buffalo. Me and my father-in-law fishing. I know this is getting away, but you might think of something since you're talking about buffalo and write a song. Ain't no
I might.
But me and my father-in-law, when I first moved out here, we was on the refuge fishing. And he had a red truck. And I was always been told animals don't like red stuff. And we was down there fishing. All of a sudden, we looked up and here the buffaloes crossing over and coming down where we was at. So I got in the water, me and him did. And then we walked out and walked up, and the rattlesnake was up on that end. So we had to turn around and go back to the water. Finally, the buffalo just come on down there where we was at, and we just snuck and slowly got out and got in the truck and left.
I have no follow-up story to that. I have nothing comparable.
It was either get rattlesnake bit or get hit with the buffalo. So we decided to don't neither one and got out of there. So, but no, it's right down the road from me, about a mile. They got a farm here that raises buffalo.
Okay.
And in the city limits here in town.
Makes perfect sense. Why would you not? I don't see an issue with anything that's happening up there.
No, I don't either. I mean, things are different stuff, but I get along with all the animals. So getting back to you, I could talk all day about them buffalo or the longhorns and all the other animals out there that you see. So, are a good place to go eat out there. So,
like restaurants or?
Yeah, it's a restaurant right on the refuge out towards the north end of the refuge, and it's called Mears.
Mears?
Yeah, Mears. MEER.
Okay.
And so,
do they serve buffalo?
They do have buffalo meat in there if you want.
Oh, good.
But if you look at the place, it's so old. That place is over 100 years old. And as you walk in, you think, but the food, everything's clean. It's old. It's an old looking building. But the tables are clean. The waiters are pretty cool, as long as they ain't busy. I mean, It's
I thought you were
people,
going to say the waitresses are pretty clean too.
yeah, they clean too. But no, they people come from all over the United States when they're here and visit that place.
Huh.
They got tags all over the wall from North Carolina to California to New York. And I think I've seen some Texas tags on there too.
I might have to, I don't know when I will ever be back in Lawton, but if I do, I will stop at Mears
Yeah.
because that sounds good. I'm up for exotic
Right.
food,
Well,
like
see,
a buffalo.
right. They like I said, they got buffalo burgers, and I think they got something else buffalo, but and then it's another place out there called Ann's Country Kitchen where they serve like you would eat at your grandma's house.
Oh, that's nice. Now, when you say at your grandma's house, you mean something totally different because my grandmothers did not cook. Not at all. So my grandmother, she lived with me and
Right.
I went into her oven to get stuff out. She uses it as storage.
Oh.
She keeps snacks in her oven that she doesn't want my kids to find and eat. So like all the little Debbies, the snack wells,
She hides.
croissants, all this stuff hidden in her oven. And
Right.
when I moved her to my house with me, I was going through her dishwasher. You know what she did in her dishwasher? She used it as a filing cabinet. Not those little slats where you put plates
Hey.
in. It was like manila folders that
Oh,
she
heck.
used to file in.
Hmm.
So that's the level of food that I
Right.
received from my grandmothers. When they wanted to feed me, they would take me to get a Happy Meal.
Yeah. I mean, when I was growing up, my dad cooked with my mom, homemade biscuits and stuff. Uh, cracklings. I don't know if you know what that is.
I don't know what a crackling is, no.
Okay, it's a piece of fat from a hog. When you go out and kill a hog, you take a lot of the fat off, and you can take some of the belly and make bacon out of it. You got to cure it, and then you
Oh,
cut
I
up,
see.
yeah, and then you cut up. I'm trying to forget. You cut the others up, a lot of the fat up in little cubes,
Okay.
and I don't know if you've heard fatback, so it's got the skin still on it. Uh, you can salt it down, but Dad used to take a bunch of the cubes of the fat and put it in a black pot outside and a little water and make lard in it. And when you're cooking it, you make lard to cook your biscuits and stuff in it. So I'm gonna say, I mean, I was brought up in the '60s and '70s, so we lived on a farm.
I bet it has a lot of flavor.
It's but the doctor says it ain't good for you, but it's better than going to Walmart or some store and trying to buy canned food.
That is true.
I have got away from canned food, and I cook. Like tonight, I made homemade mashed potatoes and green beans. I snap my own beans. I don't buy them frozen unless they don't have any, but most of my stuff is fresh.
I I like cooking. I like baking. I'm more of a fish person. I do a lot of fish,
Okay.
a lot of eggplant. You know what's really good with eggplant? There is the black garlic,
Okay.
and then you do that and you roast it all to. It's a very different flavor.
Hey, I
It's
gotta try
so
that.
good.
I
It
gotta
is
try
so
that
good.
because
Yeah.
I do smoke. I smoke a lot of meat, uh, ribs, shoulders, and stuff like that. I learned how to make tamales.
Oh, that's actually very complicated.
Yeah, but I've learned how to do it. I
From
taught
what I
myself.
hear, I don't make them. I just eat them.
Right. Well, I love them. So when I moved from here to Kansas to be a manager at Locke,
Mhm.
you couldn't get anyone tamale nowhere around unless you went to the Mexican restaurant. So I looked it up online and printed off several different recipes, and I went down and started making them.
Okay.
So, I mean, I like to make a lot of things. Like you said, pies. I just taught myself year before last how to make pecan pies because I never made a pie. And I learned how to make pecan pie, apple pie, sweet potato pie. And I have baked a cake and decorated it.
What kind of cake?
Just a sheet cake.
Okay.
It was my wife's birthday one year, and we didn't have no kids at that time. So I got home from work, and I got a couple boxes of cake mix, and started making it. And my wife was at work, so I didn't have to worry about her finding out about it. She was a police officer, so she was working. So I got home and I sat there and made the cake and decorated it, put all the stuff on it. The only thing I couldn't write the letters, but I could, put the other stuff and around it and everything today. But I made her a birthday cake.
Oh, that's sweet. Was it chocolate?
It was, I call it vanilla. It was the white yellow frosting. The yellow cake. I can cook a chocolate cake. I started making homemade cookies. Since I'm retired, I've been doing a lot of stuff, different cook.
Yeah, I think it's therapeutic. I like to bake, and I make things for people, and I've done wedding cakes and stuff just for friends because it's too stressful to make something that monstrous.
Right.
But I'll do it for friends, and it's just therapeutic. I like to just find different things and put it together. Like this Christmas, I made a chocolate Cabernet cake, and instead of doing just a regular simple syrup, I made this whole wine reduction with undertones of sage and rosemary, and so it was this Cabernet dark chocolate truffly with almost this earthy savoriness to it, and then just did that. It was so good. So my daughter walked into the kitchen, and I was making an order for somebody, and I did that into cupcakes, and I was making an order for somebody, and so I used an entire bottle of Cabernet because that's what you do. It's like you use a whole bottle and then you cook it down, and so you just have a little bit at the end of it. So I'm holding this huge bowl of chocolate, and the chocolate's gone because I had already put it in the oven, but I have a bowl in my arms and I'm trying to clean up. So I've got the bowl of chocolate, a spoon, and like 2 empty bottles of wine underneath my arm. And it's about midnight because that's when I had time to do it. And my oldest daughter walks in. She just sees me with the chocolate and the spoon and the 2 empty bottles of wine. And she walks in and she's like, "Rough day at work, Mom." I'm just like,
between music, I figured you might have, since you don't do full-time music, I didn't think. How do you have time to do all this too?
Well, I just do everything so poorly that I just don't take a lot of time to. No, I do music as much as possible.
Right.
And if I'm not performing during a night, I'm writing. So I was doing it more full time. But I just my lifestyle is just a certain way that I want to live. Like I like having the electricity and the indoor plumbing and things like that. There's just a certain level of bougie that I have to maintain.
There you go.
So, and the kids are the same way. They get really annoyed when there's no food in the fridge. So I ended up, I do work, but I'm always doing music. And the thing is, I try to focus more on quality of the shows I do
Right.
instead of I'm playing every night this week. I'm trying to do really good gigs, really good venues, and write to make sure that I'm just putting out good things instead of getting burnt out on the same
Right.
shows all the time. And then I have more time too to go into the studio and record and keep putting out material and spend more time just sitting, writing, making sure that I'm not just slapping out songs for the sake of getting a new song out there. I want to make sure that I'm writing something that's relatable and makes a difference and is different and no one's ever saying something new. No one's ever writing
Right.
something that you've never heard before, but maybe I can say it in a way that makes you think differently or makes you feel a different way. Maybe say it in a way that you just haven't thought about it.
Have you wrote songs that affected your life somewhere like a lot of singers do, artists do?
Like, are they about my life?
No, I mean, yeah, no is what I'm saying. You got a lot of artists out there take certain parts of their life, or you look at Taylor Swift, and I know it's another girl, I can't think of her name, lady that done her, but about their ex-boyfriends and all this stuff.
I do write about relationships. I think that's my niche. I write about relationships, but I try to write about the deeper subjects. I don't want to skim the surface. I want to dig down deep, which is
Right.
funny because I'm not a serious person. If you see my shows, I heckle the crowd. I can bully them. They bully me back. It's a good time.
Well, that's it.
We give each other a hard time, and I don't just stand there and sing. I entertain and I make jokes, and it's a good time. But and I'm not trying to be funny. I was just talking about my day, and everyone just started laughing because then they're like, "Ah, her life is hard." But but the songs that I write are quite reversed because and I think they do have an effect maybe on my life and other people's because and yeah, they're relationships and they're about sometimes even tougher subjects, but it's a way I just like take this little thread of the truth here and then we'll just expand it and
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
just
You look at Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson, some of them, they wrote songs about their life, about prison and stuff like that. And that's why I was asking you, because I found out that some artists, independent artists, is doing the same thing.
well, and regardless of what you read on Google, I have not been to prison. Nothing was proven.
Oh my God. Have you got anything going on right now besides cooking at home and taking care of kids and husband and all that stuff?
Well, I don't take care of a husband, so
Okay. I'm sorry.
well, that's okay. It makes my life a lot smoother. My to-do list, you know how I said I don't do things well.
Right.
You gotta cut some stuff off the list. But yeah, I'm in the studio writing and I've got a song out there that we're promoting. I'm doing gigs. I'm just writing away and we're just releasing stuff as they go. There's several songs that I have lined up that we're working on right now. So
Okay.
It's a good time.
Okay, good. Have you got a favorite song since you've been playing for a while that you love to sing when you're out?
I don't have a favorite song. I think I have a song that's my favorite for the moment.
Right.
Whatever my mood is at the moment.
I hope it's a happy move.
It's never a happy mood.
Oh God. No, I was just curious, about what time you have time to write your songs, or like you said, a lot of you work, and a lot of artists do. That's independent. They, uh, but getting around. Do you play just in Terrell, Texas, or you come up north, like Wichita Falls, and play, or?
Surprisingly enough, I don't play in Terrell.
Okay.
I just don't. Most of my gigs are a couple of hours away. And
Okay.
so I play in the Dallas area, and I'll go to East Texas quite a bit, and I go play in South Texas. I have played in Oklahoma. There's a military base that I played up there. I drove through Lawton to get there.
You must have played at Tinker Air Force Base.
No, I don't.
Fort Sill. How about Fort Sill?
That sounds more like it. It was probably that.
That's here in Lawton. If it's an Army base,
Okay.
it's here in Lawton, because we got an Army base not even 3 or 4 miles down from us that you can run right into the fence.
Okay, that's where it was then. I was in Fort Sill there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've seen a lot of major artists. I hadn't seen a lot of independent artists that like I want to. I've got stuff I wanted to set up where I could go to their shows and sit there and probably interview them, and then before they go on, and then sit there and play their show as it goes. I mean, I got the stuff. I don't have the speakers, but I got everything I can plug into my laptop.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
I'd done it one time while I was in Kansas. It was a learning experience. You got to make sure you got a hot spot that's strong, because technology is pretty tough when you're out there trying to do something. And I recorded it, but I just couldn't get it to go out on the radio station, so I recorded everything.
Well, that still works. It just wasn't live.
Yeah. He done another show in town down there, not at his house, and I done better. I mean, I could get it out where people could hear it while it was going on and stuff. He invited me to that one, so I went to that one, him and his band. And his drummer has his own studio, recording studio that he does for other artists too. And then I don't know if he still is, and also he was the mayor of the town.
Oh, well, that's just be everything then. Everything to everyone.
He was like you. He stayed busy. I mean, I've been there. I've done it too. Work 10 hours a day, go home, and go back out in the field. Well, it was just me at home. My wife was working, so I'd find me something to do. So I'd sit around and watch TV. I'd work 10 o'clock at night, go home, do paperwork, go to bed, get up, and start all over again.
Yeah, I think it's called a rut. I think that's what we call it.
Yeah. I was used to doing that when I was in North Carolina. When I got out here, started working in the store, I had all the time in the world. I mean, I had to find something to keep me busy. My boss a couple of times said, "Hey man, go sit down." I said, "Do what? I'm not used to sitting." So I had to get used to that. Where you got your music? Have you got it on iTunes? Where is it all at?
It's everywhere. Wherever you can stream, I think it's there. Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, Amazon, YouTube. It's kind of anywhere you can get it.
Okay. You got a website?
I do. It's jenniferemard.com.
Okay. So, they can come and, check up on you and read how good a person you are and all this stuff.
Yes. Read what I write, not what Google says.
So, I mean, I'm not, no offense, but you look younger than also you in your pictures too.
I look younger in my pictures.
Yeah,
Well, that's rude.
you look younger. I'm talking about you look young now. I mean, you
Oh,
know,
I look younger now than I do in my
yeah.
pictures.
Some of them,
Oh, okay.
the makeup and stuff. You know how makeup,
I
changes.
will have to have some harsh words with my photographer now. He's going to have to go back and edit something.
So, but now getting back to your music and stuff, and where you go around there, and then up, like you said, you was up here, and you bake, and stuff like that, and you work. So, do you have time to hang out? Go out with your kids, enjoy life?
Yeah, I try to set aside at least one day a week to just do things with the girls, and because I have four daughters. So um, one day a week, and normally it's Sundays, we go out together and just kind of do our thing. And then I try to keep one weekend a month open to just have the entire weekend to, I don't know, do laundry or mow. That
Right.
takes entire.
So the grass is up about that high. So you wait that long?
Well, I'm not a tall person, so it is a bit jungle-ish.
Sorry, I had to
I
break
think
it there.
I think I have a tiger living out in the grass now, and I think it's more of a jungle.
But
I
no,
have a whole ecosystem at my house.
right. I got like I said, a 12-year-old here, and a 36-year-old in North Carolina. So,
Well, that one was an afterthought.
well, my first wife decided she wanted to go somewhere else. It wasn't me because I
Oh,
tried to keep her. And so we had a daughter and a son, and he's in the hospital right now.
oh no.
Yeah, he's in bad shape. So, but
Oh, sorry to hear that.
thank you, man. But we had an older daughter. She lived with me and my wife now that finally got up with, and I trusted her with my kids, and so we got married. And she's from Oklahoma, and so we moved out here to look after her mother and father. Technically, he lives right across the street from me.
Oh, okay. That's convenient.
And so uh, we had some sleet up here, and my wife has said, "Hey, you want to help somebody to help you get across the road?" He's one of these pride soldiers, so he don't like, he wants to be the man. He don't want to be a kid and need help and stuff.
Right.
So I come in here. I got cameras around the house, and I come in here and I watched him go across the road. I seen him fall.
Oh no.
And I sit there and watched him. He got up. I didn't jump. I didn't run out there because he knew I'd be watching him on the camera. He'd get mad at me. So he was over for supper tonight, and he'll be over tomorrow night again. I'll cook him some ribs, probably.
Oh,
Barbecue
that's
ribs.
nice.
I'll smoke some of them. And so he got up to where his granddaughter, his car at. She left it over at his house, and it looked like he fell again. So I watched him, and I went and told my wife about it. She said, "Go over." I said, "Well, you know what he just said to you when you asked him to let me go with him then. He didn't like it. So if I go over there, he'll know that I've been watching him in the camera." So I picked up the phone and dialed this. I said, "Hey, Pop," I said, "You okay?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "You make it?" I didn't act like I seen him fall, I said, did you make it okay?" He said, "Yeah." And a few minutes later, he said, "Yeah, I had to land on my pride. It was a little softer." I said, "Oh, you hit that head, study your big head on your head?" he started laughing at me. So
That's funny.
nah, when I retired from Kansas, the doctor retired me. I moved back down here to look after him. I could have moved back to North Carolina, but we moved back here because I told my wife, I said, I'll look after him. I mean, my health is not 100% good, but it's better than it is in the long run. I almost had a massive heart attack in 2017. So,
Oh no.
yeah, but I'm still young at heart, so that's all that counts.
Yep.
As I tell my friends, my wife knows I'm crazy. I swear, as long as I can see and chase the young women at Walmart, I'm still alive. So,
oh goodness.
so with everything going on, and you have time for your kids and stuff, do you take time to sit and relax and think of music for yourself?
I do. I do a lot at night when people are asleep.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
I was up till midnight last night, and I should have went to bed, but I was up. I like to watch this show called Shiners. My dad used to make moonshine
Ah,
when I was a kid, and it just brings back memories of my dad. So I
that's
watch it.
sweet.
I watch it all the time, and I was watching a couple of the shows I didn't watch the other night, and I was watching them. Me and my wife both was up, and I went to bed before she did, and I woke up with the alarm, but then I fell back asleep watching the news. So
Oh,
I finally got up at 8 this morning. So
that'll do it.
yep. And then I slid to the grocery store because I forgot some stuff when I went grocery shopping. I do the grocery shopping too. So and outside of the cooking, I do all the grocery shopping. My wife says, "Well, you know what you want." I don't. So, but
Sounds like she's cooked a few too many things that you have not been fond of.
no, when we got married, I told her, "Don't worry about cooking. I love to cook, and I'll cook for her."
That's sweet.
When we was dating, when I got off work, I'd go home, fix supper at her house, and take it to where she worked at in the mill at night. And a couple
Okay.
of lady friends was jealous because I'd bring her food and not them. And they were single too, So, but yeah, I love to cook. I cook, like I said, I'm teaching myself how to cook pies now, and cakes and different stuff. I try to cook different meals.
That's good. It's good to, it's therapeutic. It's good to do.
Well, I can't sing because the dogs will go to howling if I do that. I can't. I sit here and I do this, what you see now, DJing and stuff. But I can cook and I can do this stuff. But when it comes to singing, we go to church on Sunday. My daughter's sitting there singing. I'm moving my lips. I can hear them, but I just, one time I was singing and somebody else said, "Man, you're terrible." I said, "I know."
Well,
But
if it brings you joy, you just keep doing it.
it does. I mean, like you said, as long as I don't get in a rush and I don't mess up something, I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And then my 11-year-old, she's wanting to learn how to cook. So me and her get in the kitchen together. And if I'm sick, she asks her mama, says, "Hey, you go cook something?" She say, her mama say, "You want to die?"
That's funny.
So she said, told my daughter one day, she said, I can fix oodles and noodles, but I can't fix whatever stuff your dad fixed. So, you gonna do a live show here in a few minutes?
I am.
I appreciate you coming on. If you got any music you want to send my way, so I can stick it on the radio or put you. I got a page where I can put the picture of the artist and their music, and then where they can go get it.
Okay.
So
well, I'm gonna get some new pictures done since I look older in those. So I'm gonna. When I get those, I'll send it to you.
Okay. Oh God, I had to have a little fun, as I tell people, I ain't dead yet. But no, you get new songs or anything, or you want to come back on before you let it go out on the radio and tell everybody about it? You got my messenger on Facebook. Just hit me up and we'll get together and do another show and have some fun.
Sounds great.
We might find some groundhogs somewhere out there.
We might. I'll bring one home in my purse.
When I lived in North Carolina and me and my wife this is the first time I ever been out west, around 98, I think it was, or maybe 99. We come out here to visit, and that's the first time I ever met her mom and stuff before we got married, And she took me here in town. It's a place out here on the park. They got groundhogs out there, and you can feed them carrots and all this stuff, I told her, I said, I wonder if they get mad if I take some, put them in our Jeep, and we take them back home, and behind the house there, we put them out in that field. I wonder if they get mad. So, because I thought,
see what happens.
Yeah, I still think they're cute. I love, we get out there sometimes, and they got another section on the refuge just for them, and they still scatter through, and we get out there and watch them, and I take a bunch of pictures of them and stuff because it's fun. I might go out there when it starts getting warm, take one and put a background behind me or something. I got a green screen I can put it up on.
There you go.
I enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Like I said, come back. Any of your new songs you want to get out there, I'll be glad to do it. We'll sit and talk about cooking some more and writing songs. And
sounds like a plan.
So, I had one artist I talked to before I had video, and I was cooking chili that day. And I told her, we was in about a 5-minute, you can't do it here, but we was in like a 5-minute break where a song was, or a couple of minutes where a song. I told her I was going to run downstairs, check my chili. And she said, man, I love chili. So we made it funny. Like she was sitting beside of me in a studio, and I'm going downstairs to check chili. So when we got done with the show, we was going to go down and eat chili. And she was in Alabama. She was in Alabama at that time. Good night. God bless you.
You
Take
too.
care. Good luck with your music. Like I said, anytime you want to talk, hit Jill up, hit me up, and we'll go back and do another show.
Sounds good.
And if you want to, instead of swapping over the next time to the page, I can put you on every page I've got, even YouTube at the same time, and you can do it live from here.
Okay, that would be good.
So the next time we do it, God bless you. Have a good night, and see you later. And I'll go over and wait on you to come on and watch your show.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.